Great result for favourites punters in the first, and we get a very similar proposition here in race 2 in Midtown Boss, who once again holding 3 times the cash of any other runner, and now just moved into $2.50 with us here at Sportsbet. Open at $2.90 and a really, really solid move. Kin, second elect, look at that move, $8.50, $4.50, now into $3.90. Expect Midtown Boss to hold on to favouritism, but a really, really good go for Kin. 12.950 into 7 there for Baldino. Top 3 in the market holding a vast, vast majority of this one. If you're looking for one at double figure odds on the outside, Brereton, $31 into 15, the second biggest liability for us here at Sportsbet. Now, the hot jocks, the combos, who's going to be winning it? The Sportsbet's favourite ride of the day is one that has really been hitting fairly well, especially during the weekday ones. And Miss Icelandic and Coleman, race 3 and 4. So you're going to just have to wait a little bit, but those ones have been hitting at a very, very good strike rate. You look at Damien Lane up there, 19% return on investment. Let's push that one up with a couple more winners today. What are you really gambling with for free and confidential support? Call the number on your screen or visit the website.
Now Midtown Boss at the 100 metres. Let's go hands and heels and put up 2.5 to 3 on the opposition. And Midtown Boss is coming away for an easy win. Impressive win to start the day by Midtown Boss, and how easy for him. The gelding by Street Boss out of Midtown, win 3 at start number 7.
This mounting yard is brought to you by Vobis Platinum. Find out more at vobisplatinum.com.au.
Second on Blue Diamond Stakes Day, the Sportsbet Make It Look Easy handicap. 1100 metre benchmark 84, and we're going to look at the Oakley Plate distance. Lots happening on the basketball court, of course. Scotty Pippen and Horace Grant. If you are in the vicinity on perhaps the southeastern side of Melbourne, about 2 o'clock this afternoon, we'll see a couple of Chicago Bulls legends on that court doing their thing. So still an opportunity to get down and take advantage of the free entry that's also been thrown up for those keen to get to the races today. It always gets a good crowd, and there's certainly more here as a result of those activations that are happening. So first of the runners we'll have a look in this second race is horse 5 in Sessions Road. Jordan Childs was in the saddle, one of many who comes out of the Ray Magnerio race on Chairman Stakes Day.
So we'll strip a little bit fitter second up, has a second up profile. Look, I thought there's probably a little bit of an excuse, but there's others from that race that do make a little bit more appeal, and you're getting 60s today, which looks about right.
He's just making his way into the mounting yard as we speak, and making his way in as he typically does in a very laid-back manner. He is a real gentleman on race day. This guy just wanders around on a nice loose rein. He's a big gross horse, so genuinely improves with a little bit of racing, and you can certainly see in him today that he's taken some natural improvement off of his first up run.
Brian Higgins gets an opportunity on the 6 Twin Perfection, who's drawn out, was able to test Ray Magnerio at Geelong on the first Saturday of 2024, and then Sessions Road 7th, Twin Perfection 8th in the race won by Ray Magnerio on Chairman's Day.
Yeah, sorry, Nigel, similar case really, getting a pretty big price, around $31. Had a little bit against him on that occasion, but once again, his form prior was okay, was behind Ray Magnerio as well at Geelong. That was a good run. He can improve, but the barrier in the setup today is not much better, so I'll be looking elsewhere.
He's a lovely, relaxed gelding, hard fit, coping with his racing and doing things right in the yard, so it's a good parade.
We'll circle back to our race favourite Midtown Boss once he enters the yard. To the 8 in Von Hawk, who's first up here for Cliff Brown. Interesting kick-off point, 1,100 metres, and gets Melbourne's leading jockey in Damien Lane.
He's better over further, but I looked at some of his better speed figures from last prep, and they're good. He's a talented horse. It's just his 10th career start, this gelding by Savabeel. He might surprise a few. You'd imagine that the 1100 will be too sharp, but a touch of market support. He's in half a point to 950, and like I said, his best is good enough to be competitive in terms of his ratings.
He's matured into a really nice horse, and one thing about him throughout his career is that he's always been a galloper that holds really good condition right the way through. So it's typically his mannerisms I'd be looking at fresh in the yard to give me an idea about whether he's going to need this or not, and he's been a work in progress, so it's lovely to see him striding around the yard really nice and relaxed. I think it's a really good sign. It bodes well from this preparation.
9 Miss Icelandic a scratching. You'll see her bob up at Morpheville this afternoon in the city of Marion. To the 10 in Brereton, if he can find anything resembling the placing to Varvia in the winter of last year, he's a chance.
That was a very good run. Yeah, that rated through the roof, that effort. And of course, he came back at gelding. Yeah, I liked his first up run. I thought, I'll follow you next time. I just don't know if I want to follow him in this race. I think there's a few others that make appeal, but I'm expecting a better preparation from him this time in. That winning strike rate of 1 from 14 has to be somewhat ignored now that he's come back gelded.
A long time since I've actually assessed this horse on race day. He's always been quite a mature type, but as you can imagine, he's got a lot stronger with a little bit of time on his side. Very relaxed wandering around the yard. His temperament's absolutely spot on, but he is a big horse and he's still getting a little bit warm in the yard. So I'm not sure, he might just need one more to get to his real absolute peak.
Sean and Jake Casey send the 3-year-old horse 11 Hanchy east. His summer in WA, Hutch, is something that you can talk to in a deep way through, obviously, the ties into Moonamek, given he's got form around Ripcord and Oscar's Fortune. They wouldn't have looked out of place in an Oakley plate.
Bids well. I'm going with him. I thought he looked valued around that $7 mark. He's out to 9. He's race fit. He's got a good turn of foot. He'll need to find a spot probably around midfield, but he can let down really nicely. And yeah, look, I mean, he's got a hard one to beat Midtown Boss, who, if he repeats his Flemington number, he's not going to beat him. But I think there's a case to be made, and he's an each-way price.
Yeah, he's definitely nice and fit off the back of recent racing. Great muscle definition. He's got a lovely strong hind quarter on him, a lot of power in behind the saddle. Sits quite firmly on the bit in the mounting yard, but does carry himself really nicely. All in all, a pretty positive parade for a horse coming to Caulfield for the first time. He's handled himself well.
Well, pink bow tie scratching to the 13 kin. Jamie Carr on for the 3rd time in 6 starts for the campaign, and it's been white knuckle stuff if you've been in her camp.
I can understand why she's right in the market. I mean, if you like Midtown Bosch, you've got to respect her. She had a checkered path last start, bid held up. Certainly some excuses. She's in the game here. She's drawn nicely. It's advantage her from gate 4, I think, to an extent, even though she can get back a little bit. But with the right run, I can see her winning.
Look, she has presented so well in her last couple. Probably hasn't had the best of luck. If she ran up to her look, she'd be right in this. She's fit, she's bright, she does things right. There's no negatives in her parade.
Back to the one in Boldino. Celine Gaudre's Claim able to take off 1.5 kilos. Had the better of kin at a meeting here in December over 1,200 metres, and then contested a good money race on the Geelong program.
I tipped it at Geelong and I was disappointed on the day, but the inside chopped away a little bit. Lafargue's a real specialist at Geelong. Look, this is, if you like to follow the money, this is the horse that they want to be around. Can land right on speed, and if you just after that freshen up, you can expect him to bounce back. The market's saying he will, so he's right in the game.
Yeah, he's bright, really straightforward in the yard. Has had a bit of a freshen up, getting a little bit warm in the yard. Whatever he does out there today, he'll tighten up a touch on the run.
We see the 2 Swiss Exile BZ for the first time as a 4-year-old. If you can find anything resembling his better 2- and 3-year-old form, he's another one with a chance.
He's a first time as a gelding as well. So Annabelle Neesham's got a stable at Pakenham. The horse has been prepared from that base this preparation. He's had 2 jump outs. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more from him, but as a gelding, Mark Zara inside draw, you can see why the market is giving him somewhat of a chance.
A couple of strappers on him, but he has handled himself really well in the mounting yard. He's always been an athletic type. He is quite a good-looking horse. I thought he had one of the best coats on him in the mounting yard, so he's made a really healthy return, and I think he's very forward for this.
3 Foxy Con, 4 Nunthorpe. The Moody Coleman pair are scratchings. To the 7 Midtown Boss, our race favourite, BZ, who's been pinballing between sort of 260, 250 on the VOP. Now has touched 270. But so much to like about both runs this time in.
Yeah, I think he's the one to beat. I thought he was the best bet of the day. I think he's a really promising sprinter, and look, it took a pretty good one to beat him last time, and he was all the rage, but he had been 5 weeks between runs going into that event, and maybe he just got a little bit away from Matt Laurie. Jane, now with 3 weeks between runs, does he look tighter this afternoon?
Yeah, he looks much better. He got himself really warm last start in the mounting yard, and he doesn't typically do that. It's not a trait of his on race day. He's usually very composed and laid back in the yard, takes everything in his stride, and that's exactly what we've seen from him today. He looks fitter, he's very bright. It was an excellent parade from him.
And a warm-up in every sense for Dan Stackhouse, who's in the Eels colours here with Midtown Boss, our favourite. He'll don them and gets himself down to 53 kilos to ride Benedetta in those same silks a little bit later on this afternoon at this trip in the Oakley Plate. Jane, your pick of those contesting the other race over 1,100 metres today?
Look, I thought Midtown Boss had made really nice improvement coming into this, as I've just briefly suggested. He got himself quite warm in the mounting yard, probably was in need of the run last start, comes here in exceptional order. It was a top parade from him. If he runs up to his looks, he'll be right in this.
No changes here for the market with us. Midtown Boss, still your favourite up the top, although Swiss Exile starting to get a little bit of cash. We haven't seen that price fluctuate too much, though, on the sports bet boards there, but certainly some money coming the way of Swiss Exile. Kin, still the big mover, $8.50 into $4 there, to $3.90 now. Boldino, 12 into $5.50, another big mover, only about 13 cents worth of deductions through there. So again, a good genuine move. Von Hawk has just pretty much held that price since this morning, but as I said down there, Swiss Exile, $9.50 out to $12. The traders not huge fans, but the punters starting to see a little bit of a brush of cash coming there. And Brereton again just drifting out of touch since we last spoke, 16 out to 18. So Midtown Boss holding twice the cash of any other runner. Swiss Exile and Brereton on the outside. What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on your screen or visit the website.
Nassim Dilmi joins me from the Godolphin team. You've got Kin going round in this. She's certainly a mare that's been pricked up really nicely this time in, but is racing without a bit of luck on her side. What are the team hoping to see from her today?
It was unfortunate, obviously, all the scratchings this morning took the speed out of the race, so hopefully they go quick enough to suit her. But we told Jamie to just ride her quiet, bide her time and let her finish hopefully strong.
It's often horses that have a pattern of getting back, they can run into a little bit of bad luck. Is it just a matter of getting the horse to settle nicely? She'll come round them and try and find the best part of the track in the home straight?
Yeah, either that or I spoke to Jamie on how was the fence race one. She led and she said nothing was wrong with the rail, so either side. Hopefully she doesn't have a wave through like she did last start and get a bit more luck, but she's right on target for this race.
Yeah, the team's pretty happy with where she's at.
Yeah, she's obviously last start was very unlucky, but very happy with her today.
How's Traffic Warden heading into the Blue Diamond?
He's perfect. He's not far from arriving on course now. Arrived from Sydney only a couple of days ago, but he looks great.
Best of luck with the team today.
Thank you.
Billy Papazaradakis joins me to have a chat about Annabelle Neesham's horse, and he's telling me I've got to be quick. Swiss Exile, how's he come back?
Pretty good. We haven't had him that long. He's been at the beach most of the time, but jump outs have been really good and he's ready to go. We struggled a bit to get him into the parade ring, but once he got in, he was all right. No, he'll run a good race, I'm pretty sure.
He looked quite forward in terms of condition, so the team feel like they've got him pretty spot on for his first up assignment?
Yeah, I think he'll improve, but he should run a good race. Yeah, like I said, he's been at the beach and, when he came over, he looks great.
You're going to get a few options from the barrier draw. You've got one of the best in the business on in Mark Zara. What were the instructions?
Oh, just we've left it up to him, basically, but, yeah, to bear in mind that the horse will probably improve again, Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's head out behind the 1,100 metres start. Charlotte Littlefield's alongside Michael D, who's riding the West Aussie Hanchy.
We are, and I'm having to multitask here and do a bit of pony work too, but Hanchy seems to be handling it well. First time at Caulfield. Everything good coming around to the barriers?
Yeah, everything good. I was told he might hang on a bit coming around, but first time here at Caulfield, I think he more or less had a bit of a look around, so yeah, gave me a nice feel coming around.
He's a lovely type and he's really on the ball today. He's got the glint in the eye. So what's the expectations from the team?
Our expectations are obviously to run well. We're doing a touch awkward, so hopefully everything works out and we see that good turn of foot late.
Big day ahead. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, all the best to Michael D, who's riding Hanchy for the Caseys. And Hutch, just to go back over that sort of tie-in of the Perth Summer Carnival form that he boasts, the Ripcord, Oscar's Fortune, that's form out of the Winterbottom, form out of the Gold Rush.
Yeah, I think it's sound form, and particularly at this level, Nigel, it's all relative, isn't it? But, I think generally we see that probably the Perth form is a little undervalued by the market, and you're getting a nice price about him. I think it's over. He's out to $11, so I think something each way is definitely worth a consideration.
Midtown Boss, our favourite for race 2, over 1,100 metres, a benchmark 84 over the Oakley plate distance. Here's Matt Hill.
In Australia, Sessions Road is the next one along for Geordie Charles. Of course, had his greatest day in the saddle on this day 7 years ago with Written By winning the Blue Diamond. Midtown Boss going up with Boldino. So Kin, along with Brereton and also Twin Perfection with Brian Higgins aboard, are going to be the final three. Here's Kin, Jamie Carr for James Cummings and Godolphin. Kin goes up. Brereton to join them with Billy Egan, who won the first. They're just about right down there as Twin Perfection completes the line. Race 2 from the Oakley plate start, 1,100. They are ready. Set and away. Sessions Road jumped well, and then its nose touched the grass and lost about 4 or 5 lengths. And beginning really speedily, Twin Perfection zooms to the lead from Boldino, and also the outside Brereton, Midtown Boss, Swiss Exile, Hanchi behind those horses. A length away, Kin, Sessions Road, last Von Hawk. Twin Perfection led, tried to put the brakes on from Boldino, Brereton, Swiss Exile next the inside from Hanchi. Then came Midtown Boss, who's 3 wide, but it has the trail behind Brereton. A length away to Kin, Sessions Road, and last Von Hawk. Twin Perfection, 500 from home from Boldino, Brereton, then Swiss Exile. Midtown Boss comes 4 deep as 5 off the lead from Hanchi Kin, then Sessions Road, Von Hawk. Twin Perfection around the turn, 300 metres to go, yet to be called upon. A length and a half, almost 2, Boldino, Swiss Exile, Midtown Boss with a bit to do, and then Kin, who's weaving through the pack. Twin Perfection, 100 metres to go, still had a good buffer. Swiss Exile's getting out late with a wall chasing, but Twin Perfection's won it. Or they drove through for the minors. Kin or Midtown Boss in ahead, bobber. Swiss Exile not beaten far from those with Hanchi. Good go the minors. Then Boldino, Von Hawk, Brereton, last Sessions Road.
Great result for Brian Higgins. Not a great result for those who were keen at those at the top of the market. Midtown Boss and Kin are prominent for the placings, but it's Twin Perfection able to sit astern to the speed and hold them at bay. And Brian Higgins getting that done from a wide draw as well. The horse that had the Ray Magnario form, will see him as one of 2 runners for Robbie Griffiths and Matt de Kock later this afternoon over this distance in the Oakley Plate. We mentioned that he tested Ray Magnario in the race at Geelong. He was then 4 weeks between runs, when 5 lengths off Ray Magnario on a day where, as we know, was challenging to make ground. He was back in the field on that occasion. No problems with that today for Twin Perfection, who gets up at a juicy quote. Photos in behind for a blanket over Midtown Boss, Kin, Swiss Exile, and Hanchi was finishing off nicely once Michael D was able to extricate him into some clear air. 63.56 they're running over this second race, 1100 metre distance. So 6, 7, 13 and 2 your numbers. Twin Perfection at a big price.
Uncontested lead for a $31 chance or $41 chance at the end with the VOP. They've left Twin Perfection to his own devices and been far too good. Look, a couple of little hard luck stories. Hanchi held up, dragged back, rallied widest of all, and a couple others a little tight for room. But Twin Perfection, own way out in front, so nothing wrong with the fence. As said, we've had one here get a nice lead, well rated out in front and proved too good. Held on from a couple of charges, but when you give a horse a soft lead like that or an uncontested lead like that, they can prove very hard to run down, and that was the case with Twin Perfection.
Your standard time is 103.29. They've run 103.56, so a couple of lengths slower than that, and it didn't appear as though there was a lot of pressure. Twin Perfection was able to begin from a wide gate, work straight to the front and control it. And when you've got that southerly at your tail out of that shoot start, 1100 metres, there's not a lot of resistance, and if you get that first 500 metres to your own leisure, you're going to be hard to catch, and that's exactly the case with trainer Philip Stokes.
And Philip Stokes has joined us. Lizzie, thanks for coming in. Stokes, what could be an incredible day for you?
No, we're off to a great start. Really happy for Mark and all the team here, and especially Higo too. He's unbeaten on this horse.
And you've been spacing his races sort of every month. This one's a little bit closer, but once a month you bring him to the races.
We do, and he usually gets a check, so he's been racing well, and we just decided to really push him out today and get him to the front, and Higo rated him well and got the job done.
And what are you thinking towards the Blue Diamond, Stokesy? You've got a real live chance now, I think, with Stay Focused.
We're very happy with the horse. The prep's gone great, no hiccups. He's made good improvement from his run here the other day, which he has to, and got a sticky barrier, but I just was watching all the replays this morning, and they can win from out there, so we go there open-minded, and we think we'll run a good race.
What would it mean to you, Philip, to win?
Oh, us SA battlers, mate. It'd be a big thing.
I don't know about battlers. Hey, just quickly, Brian Higgins, you mentioned him. A guy who doesn't get a lot of opportunities, but you've got a lot of faith in him?
He's a very good horseman. He comes down every Saturday and rides their horses, and he's very underrated. He should get more. He's got to go to... He had a full book at Yarra Valley today, so now he's got to go and ride there.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so he got off his early ones to ride this horse, luckily.
You better drive the car, I reckon. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done to Brian Higgins, and well done to Philip Stokes. So he's off to Yarra Valley. It's only about an hour's drive from here at Caulfield, where he has a few more chances this afternoon, but didn't look as though there was a lot of luck for the Perth horse in Hanchy Hutch at a key stage?
Yeah, it was tracking Baldino, which looked a good place to be given the support for that horse in the market, but just at a critical stage, turning on the point of the turn, sort of was going nowhere, had to come back to get out, came around them, got out late and ran on really well. The last 200 was excellent, so I think there were clear excuses, but ultimately what did we have? About a neck between second through fifth, so it was very tight, but you'll get a good view of it. We love this shot, Zed. We love the chopper shot. It really says it all, and we're going to take a look at the view, but a horse to keep an eye on, and that's in the purple colours, running fifth in between runners. Just
so
see
he's
there.
Underneath Midtown Boss, who's in the 3-wide line. Kin's back on the fence, which is unfortunate for Kin, running into trouble again, but that's what Kin happens to do in the Godolphin Blue. But the leader was just getting it very easy, gave a great kick off the bend, and I think a few of these riders were expecting maybe the leaders to come back a little bit better than what they did, because they were all quite reserved and happy to hold their runs until they got into the home straight. You can see Kin weaving through, just was able to get under a gap underneath Midtown Boss, and to the credit of Midtown Boss, he looked like he was going to not even run a place, and he somehow fought back and run second right on the line, so there wasn't a lot separating those. But let's hear from the winning jockey, Brian Higgins.
Great timing for a first Metro winner of the year for Brian Higgins, getting it done on a big day, and a bigger day to come with rides at Yarra Valley to scoot off for as well. Higo, don't think the market caught on to the fact that you've got a perfect strike rate on this galloper, but you hadn't done it on this sort of stage with him. What's brought him forward to this?
Look, he's just ultra consistent. Obviously, Phil's going quite well, and it's just good to get back on him. It's been a while since I've been on his back, and like I said, we've got a perfect record on him, and I thought he did a terrific job today.
Wide draw could have been sticky. How did you make it work?
Just began quick, put the foot down for the first 100 or so, and we got a breather out his ears, pricked most of the way, and I think they may have thought that I'd come back to them, but he actually gave me a good build-up off the turn, and I knew once he did that, he was going to take a bit of running down.
What's the GPS telling you in terms of travel time between Caulfield and Yarra Valley? You're just a tick under 2 hours away from your next.
Yeah, not long. So we'll get moving and see how we go.
Hopefully we can see a salute in the Yarra Valley as well. Well done.
Cheers, good on you.
Midtown Boss beaten favourite in the previous. Matt Laurie's with me. What was the conversation that you've had post-race with both the owners and Daniel Stackhouse?
Yeah, it was, we expected him to track up and charge into it better than obviously what he did. He was sort of just being chased at. Maybe, you know, the fence is the place to be. Maybe he's looking for a little bit more ground. Maybe he just goes better at Flemington. There's a whole heap of things to sort of assess, but probably leaning back to taking him back to Flemington where he performed so well previously.
Sounds like all in all you're not overly disappointed with what you saw from him out there today, but you've now got a few more questions to answer.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously we're here to win, but the horse tried. You know, it's not like he didn't have a go. So the ownership group are happy. We're just try and figure out where he's best suited.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
This mountain